Hello and welcome to our channel, Procrastination Pups. And there's my dog, Theo. He's nicely resting. Lisa and I have been having a wonderful conversation, and this topic of this episode is productive procrastination. And I was just sharing, and I'm going to share with all of you that I had to learn how to replace unproductive procrastination with productive procrastination. That's actually been very helpful in helping me overcome procrastination because we all know unproductive procrastination, video games, binge watching on Netflix, binge watching on YouTube. I do love YouTube and I do watch a lot of YouTube. But then there has to come to a point where you say, all right, stop, and then I need to get back to schoolwork. Lisa, you have any examples of unproductive procrastination that got you going away from schoolwork or whatever you needed to get done?
Absolutely. Eating
Oh,
sweets, sitting in front of the TV and, okay, what feels good at the moment? I'll have some gummy worms, something completely unproductive and unhealthy. That or even at times engaging in conversations with people that might not be healthy. And something that I was really unaware of until more recently is that I tend to procrastinate in a very unhealthy way when by creating conflict. I have found that oftentimes if I'm avoiding something that feels really unpleasant, like a difficult paper to write, or I have something that's causing a lot of anxiety, I subconsciously I end up engaging with someone in an unhealthy way. And it's not so much because I have an issue with that person, it's a form of avoidance so that I don't have to focus on the task that's so unpleasant.
and it's also stress too. Stress makes us more sensitive and we're more likely to take something personally because we're stressed and worried about something. So procrastination can also be worry, stress, anxiety, overthinking something, as we just mentioned before in our last video. There's so many ways to procrastinate, and conflict making, by the way, is something I think a lot of us have engaged in that and may not even recognize it, but it's something I'm so glad you brought that up because I have noticed too that it is a way of procrastinating because it avoids the task at hand, right? And it's also related to our fight, flight, and freeze response. We have a natural response. And so understanding that this is part of our psychological makeup can really help us overcome procrastination and also negative tendencies, because then we can think about that this is natural, that this happens to many people, that when you're stressed, you want to either run away or fight it, which could also be causing conflict, or freezing and feeling paralyzed and not wanting to do anything to move forward. So we develop these coping mechanisms, which could be binge watching Netflix or playing a video game to relax, but that still doesn't solve the issue at hand, which is writing that paper, studying that for that exam, or just following your dreams. For those of you who are not in school anymore, I know that procrastination, I felt for so long, it was a dream killer. Like there were so many dreams that I've wanted to do and achieve in my life. For example, like when I was younger, I really wish I had written a book, but I kept procrastinating on that. And now I'm really determined to do it. And if I can overcome procrastination, then you can too. So this is an encouraging note for all of you because I had to learn the way my mind works. What were some of the things that I was doing that was affecting me in a really negative way so that I wasn't pursuing my dreams? And I hope you can use this to help pursue your dreams too. So for about unproductive procrastination, one tip that I've learned was to replace it with productive procrastination. And I love this term when I heard it for the first time. Productive procrastination would be like house cleaning or exercise. I'm doing something that's healthy and good for you, that is productive, not necessarily related to, it is kind of procrastination because you're not exactly doing the task at hand, which is writing that paper, writing that book, painting if that's what your dream is to paint, whatever your dream is that you're procrastinating on, or schoolwork. If you're productively procrastinating, at least you're still moving forward. You're doing the healthy things that are like, for me, like as I mentioned, I hate cleaning. So if I had a paper due soon, instead of working that paper, I might actually, and I know it's really bad. I felt really guilty to binge watching Netflix. So instead, what I did was maybe clean the room. And that was productive procrastination. It was procrastinating on the task at hand of writing that paper. But by the way, because I always hated cleaning so much, I eventually wanted to write my paper instead of clean. So there's another benefit of productive procrastination. You can choose something that maybe you don't like to do that much. You can feel good at the moment because you're procrastinating on the thing that you're supposed to do, but eventually you won't even want to do that. You'll just want to get the stuff done. So hopefully that tip helps you. Feel free to share in the comments if there's any other tips you want to share. And I hope you enjoyed the video.
Thank you.
Bye.